Hi, hello. This is part 3 of episode 2. Bear with me because I'm barely staying awake right now, so I'm eating a brownie. If anybody's watching this. Okay, I'm on episode, I said it's episode 2. Episode 1, I'm still on, and I'm on question 19 is like the first one I will be answering. Because I did all the other ones before that already. Now I'm just on question 19. Okay.
Preparing our lab students as well.
Okay. So question 19. At the grade level you are going to teach how would moving affect a student a lot, and at the grade level you are going to teach how would being an only child affect a student. So I think that my ideal grade to teach is kindergarten. I would love to teach kindergarten. But I am doing elementary ed. So it could be anywhere from kindergarten through 5th grade, which is obviously younger kids. I think moving a lot would affect a student, not really academically that much, because like they're still young enough where like there's not like it's not like they're in high school and they have like different options of classes to take and stuff. It's like it's all the same stuff kind of everywhere. And they it's not like they have like options of class to take. So like I don't think academically the student would be affected a lot, but I do think, and honestly like I feel like the student, like especially kindergarten, like I'm just gonna go based off kindergarten, but this applies I think to K through 5, more kindergarten than 5th grade. Like so like the older you get in that age range, I think that this is like less and less the case, but I still think it's the case with the majority of the time for up to 5th grade. But I feel like students, like when they're young, like they might miss their friends or whatever when they move, like so like socially, like they might miss people and whatever, but like they're young enough where like they can just like jump on in and like be good most of the time. And so honestly I feel like moving a lot wouldn't really affect a student that much. As I mean, if it's like every year, that's a little different too. But like if they move a lot and they're in a couple different schools from kindergarten through 5th grade, like I feel like it wouldn't be that big of a deal, especially the younger they are, because they just like fit right in anywhere. And it's not like I have like best friends that it's like I met them in kindergarten and then like I was like, I mean, like a couple of them because I went to a small school, but I don't know. My point is like I feel like the friends you have in kindergarten usually aren't the friends that you have the rest of your life, and if they are, that's great. But it's not like at 6, 7 years old when you go from kindergarten to first grade, you're going to be sitting there like, oh my gosh, I miss my friends so much, and then you're going to like stick. That's going to stick with you and like mess up your mind, for lack of a better explanation, to make you like socially not okay. So I feel like moving a lot doesn't really affect younger students as much as it would older students. So at my age level, my grade level, so kindergarten, hopefully, I feel like it wouldn't really affect students academically or socially that much. And if it did, it would just be like they'd miss their friends, but I feel like they would, like they're young, they would kind of forget about it. And if they don't forget about it, like they would be okay with it because they're not really mature enough to understand like that's my best friend and I'm not at school with them every day anymore. Like, so I feel like it wouldn't really affect them that much. Um, but maybe it would. But that's just my thoughts, I guess. How being an only child affect a student? So again, I'm gonna go off kindergarten because this is what grade level, so I'm gonna take that just for kindergarten. I think a lot of times kindergartners could be only children because like they're still young enough for like their parents, if they have more kids, like they could just not have other kids yet or whatever. I don't know, but I think being an only child would affect a student because like maybe they would get to school and expect like to have a lot of the attention and a lot of the like a lot of attention shown to them, um like that, like they would always be able to have help from the teacher whenever they need it, or just stuff like that. And I guess it's different because if they're an only child brought up in a daycare since they were a baby up until kindergarten, then like it'll probably be not as much like this. But if they're like an only child and they're at home with a parent all day, and even if not at home with a parent all day, like they're getting more attention, it just on them solely than a kid who has 10 siblings or even one sibling would be getting, because the parents have to divide up attention like between the siblings. So I think that like maybe going to school would be kind of harder for an only child because especially if they haven't been in like a daycare or anything before, because just like they wouldn't be getting as much attention like one-on-one from the teacher, because the teacher would have to spread themselves more thin rather than just giving all their attention to that one kid like they may be used to at home. They're horrible. Okay, so number 20. Terrence is very quiet, sweet, humble, and is a very quiet, sweet, humble, and helpful child. What is his IEP for? His IEP is for like a cognitive delay that he has. I forgot the exact name. Let me go back and look.
Does have an
Okay, yeah, so cognitive delay and ADHD. The positives of inclusion for Terrence would be things just like him being able to live like some sort of a normal life because like despite his disabilities, and being able to still interact like and like have the social aspect of school because again like especially in high school the social aspect is huge. Um, how would I modify his? How would I modify my lessons to meet his IEP needs? I think that this is a hard question just because like it's hard because like it's like do you change it for the whole class or do you just change something individually for him and put a little more effort into just him than changing the whole lesson for the whole class? But I think that like something that I would try to do is like odds are, especially in high school, I feel like there's a lot of kids with ADHD or maybe that's just anymore. Um, and so I think that like with for the ADHD aspect, like doing something. So this is what I want to do for kindergartners, but like I think that it's important for all age groups. Like if you're doing like multiple of like like the Howard Gardner intelligences to learn, I think that if you're doing multiple of those, like the more of those you're doing when you're learning, or like when your students are learning, the more obviously that you're gonna like learn the information better and retain it. And so I think by doing things like games, or like competitions, like high schoolers are really competitive, so doing like competitions, um, or even just like this is like kind of this might be kind of stupid for high schoolers, but like even like incorporating music, like into like a Spanish class, for example. I thought about doing high school Spanish. Um, like if I had him in my class, I would do some sort of like a song to help him remember the like how to conjugate AR ending verbs or something, for example. Um, and like by like incorporating some sort of movement or sound or something to engage multiple senses, I feel like it would help him or other kids with ADHD engage better. So I think I could change like the whole lesson plan like in that aspect, but honestly that's probably something that I would do anyway. Um, but I guess that would be a modification. And uh his other one, his cognitive delay, I think that I would just work closely with his mom, especially like if he's in high school, like you can still contact the parents if you need to or whatever. But just like work closely with his mom and him and like don't and like not like I wouldn't like baby him because of it, but I would also like I would just want to make sure I didn't baby him. And like I know obviously he has a cognitive delay and there's no like it's not like he's choosing to have that. But I do think that he still needs to be pushed like every other student. It's just in a different way. And so like if that means um, setting up after school like office hours like for 30 minutes to an hour after school every Tuesday and Thursday with him, then that's what I would do is like probably work with him like for the cognitive delay aspect of his IEP needs. I would like take extra time like after school or before school and have him come in or like during a planning period or like a study hall hour or whatever, and I would have him like come in and I would like try to like keep in tabs with his mom just so she can like make sure she can get him to school on time if he can't drive there or whatever. And I would like set aside that extra time to be able to work on anything that he's a little behind at that everybody else like to get him caught up with everybody else as much as possible, if possible.
medicine funny. Have you done that? And my youngest told me
So she thinks that if like Terrence can get a 4.0 and get to a good college, okay, this is number 21. She thinks that if Terrence can get into a good college and get a 4.0 and everything, like I think just because of like his mental disabilities, then I think that she said that like she thinks that her sister thinks that she should be able to do the same. But I think that what does it say about her as a person? I think that she's just very aware. I think she's aware of like how her sister is like holding high expectations for her. But I also think that like by not like trying to like meet those expectations, then like that's like kind of messed up. I don't know, like and then just that I'm say shoot, I'm so tired. Yeah, I don't know. I think she's also really aware that like college isn't for her and like that's okay. And like I think that's important too. That was question 21.